Well, kia ora. I'll introduce myself. My name is Ian Chapman. I'm the Acting Deputy Chief Executive for Youth Justice Services.
Yeah, and I'd just like to get started today by just saying, an incident like this is unacceptable. But if you compare, after all the hard work that's been put in this year across all the youth justice facilities, compared to the 15 incidences in 2023, I think we've come a long way. The way the staff dealt with this incident, I'm really proud of, and we'll talk to that a little bit more. But I would also say we're not going to accept this kind of behaviour. It's absolutely unacceptable, the young people's behaviour that has happened overnight, and criminal liability will happen for the damage that has been done to this youth justice facility. And I'll pass over to you.
So I'll just run you through. So we were first made aware around 6:30 last night that some young people had managed to get out of one of our units within the residence. They made it up onto the roof, and that has then incited a second smaller group to get out of a second residence, unit, and up onto the roof. At no time were the public in any harm. The young people never made it outside of the residence perimeter. And I'm really proud of the way in which the staff here, the team, managed the incident throughout. It was a relational negotiation. These staff know these kids. They work with them every day, and it was through that that they were able to convince them to come down off the roof safely. No one was harmed. None of the staff was harmed. There was a minor injury of one of the young people when he got up on the roof, and saw this incident resolved within 16 hours.
Any questions?
How are the young people doing now? How are they doing now, the youth that were up on the roof?
Yeah, so look, they are teenagers. They've been up on the roof overnight. They are cold. They are hungry. They are tired. But at the moment, as the Minister has said, they are facing the consequences of their actions, and they are all being dealt with by the police.
Ian, could you give us some more information as to how they got out of those units, or the residents and how they ended up there?
Yeah, so look, we've done a significant amount of work over the last year to target harden all our residences, and this one in particular. But this was a determined group of young people, and they managed to find ways in which they could get out of these units. I won't go into the specifics as it's a security matter, but what I can say is that this is now going to form part of a significant period of debrief and evaluation to find out what occurred in this incident. So that we can, through a continuous improvement and lessons learnt approach, we can spread that out across all the residences.
Can you tell us any more about the damage on the roof, or has there been kind of any idea of just how bad it is?
Yeah, so we obviously have got a lot of work to do to go through and unpack exactly what went on here. I have had a brief conversation with the contractor this morning who's done an assessment, and I'm happy to say that the damage is deemed as minimal. It's nothing like what we saw last year. And I believe that is down to a lot of the efforts that we've made to improve the security on this site.
How concerning is it that not just one, but two groups of you were able to get past staff and get up onto the roof?
So we're going to take any incident like this incredibly seriously. These young people will face the consequences of their actions today. But what I can say is that we're working really, really hard across the network to make sure that our residences are safe and secure. But let's be realistic. These are dynamic, and on occasions they can be a risky environment. We are dealing with a high-risk cohort of young people in these residences, and I'm just really, really proud with the way that my staff managed this incident through a relational approach to make sure that everyone came down safely.
Why exactly do you know did these young people go onto the roof in the first place? You've said that they didn't have any demands, so why did they want to go up there?
It's all going to form part of our review into this incident as to the reasons that they went up on the roof. We do find when there are disorder events, as any parent would tell you, there's often a trigger or something that occurred, and that will form part of our debrief.
Any response to claims they yelled out to media standing outside about not being fed or not being allowed outside?
Yeah, I am aware that some of the young people yelled out to the journalists over the fence. What I can say is that at no stage through the discussions with my staff were any demands made, nor did we give in or give them anything in relation to any demands.
Minister, just a question for you. This is the second time this has happened in over a year. How concerning is that for you? Do you have confidence in this facility?
there's always going to be a need for a youth justice facility, and as Ian has said, the dynamics here can sometimes be very quick to change, and we're dealing with young people who have committed some pretty serious crimes as well. So, I mean, I can't guarantee that there will never be an incident, but what I can look into is how we deal with those incidences, and this has been dealt with very well. We had a coordinated approach, and I'd just like to thank all the agencies involved, really. So it was corrections, oranga tamariki, police, health, and the offer from help from FENS if needed. This just goes to show that the coordinated approach has worked really well and managed to get this situation dealt with quickly and swiftly. I would expect that there are consequences for these young people, and I don't expect there to be a young person that gets away with this kind of behaviour. And moving forward, the police are now dealing with them, and I'm waiting to see what that will be.
Just off the back of Grace's question, similar incident last year here, multiple incidents at other facilities last year. What does this show us or tell us about the way youth justice facilities are being run?
Youth justice facilities were an important part of my work program, from being in opposition to coming in as minister. So I can't speak to decisions that were made before I came into this role, but I can say I was concerned with the amount of incidences that had happened before I came into this role. So I did put a big focus around improving the infrastructure and improving the support for staff and training, and making sure that the safety was the top priority in these residences. And like I said, there's only been one incident this year compared to 15 in the previous year, and whilst an incident is not okay, it goes to show that the hard work that Oranga Tamariki has put in has made improvements.
Did staff shortages add to any of the problems here today, or was that part of the reason why the two groups were able to get onto the roof?
I'll leave that to you.
No, so we had a full complement of staff on shift yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening. The staff who work here love this place. They really enjoy coming to work, and when things like this happen, they dig in. And so I was really pleased to see a contingent of staff turn up and really want to lean in and help out here. And that no doubt led to the early resolution of this matter. But no, to answer to your question, staffing was good last night.
You spoke of consequences. Are you able to elaborate or go into any further detail around what those consequences might be?
No, look, I'll leave that to my police colleagues.
Sorry if this has already been asked, but do we know the ages of the young people on the roof?
Age range between 15 and 18.
Thank you.